right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the February 4th, 2021 Meet and Confer District Negotiations meeting, and I would like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. The next item on the agenda are the norms. So we will follow our norms as we have been this entire negotiation session, as well as previous meetings. And are there any questions about any of the norms? Remember, if you do wish to speak, go ahead and turn on your camera, and you will be able to be recognized by either the CEA chair or by the board district chair. Okay, no questions. So we'll move on to the approval of minutes from January 7th, 2021, which can be found in the February 4th Google Drive folder for Meet and Confer, which all of you have access to. I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from January 7th, 2021. Do I have a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion about the minutes from January 7th? Okay, being no discussion, we'll go ahead and take a vote. Michela, go ahead with your CEA roll call vote, please. I believe you may be on mute.
I am. Shelly Knight votes aye. Is that how you want me to do it? Sure. Alex Casares votes aye. Gia Giosa, aye. And Betty France votes aye. And myself, Michela Stevens.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Newman, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Ms. Ardell?
I vote aye.
Mr. Bishop?
I vote aye.
Ms. Farrar?
I vote aye.
And I vote aye as well. So the minutes for the January 7th, 2021 Meet and Confer meeting are approved. So moving along to the new proposals section, and I would just like to mention for those of you watching this Meet and Confer meeting, there was a collaborative agreement between CEA and the district board team to only present new proposals this evening, simply because of the special board meeting that was called that begins at 5 p.m. tonight. So thank you to Michela and the rest of your team for working with us on that. And then on February 18th, we will address only pending proposals, which will be all of the proposals that have been presented previous to this evening, as well as the ones from today. So with item number 1 in section D, I will turn it over to you, Ms. Stevens, for new proposals from CEA.
All right, good evening. Our first one is the CEA proposed name change to our auxiliary staff, which includes, and psychologists, which includes our school psychologists, speech language pathologists, speech language technicians, occupation therapists, and physical therapists. They provide services that are related directly to what is expected of our students and staff. So we would like their name change to reflect what they do as related service providers, also to be called RSP. It's a short, sweet rationale, but it's a name change from auxiliary title to related service providers and psychologists.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions from either the CEA team or the district board team on this particular new proposal? All right, not seeing any. Ms. Stevens, you can go ahead to, I think you have a few others.
I do. I'd like to ask Gia. I think Gia's doing our next one for us.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Happy National School Counselor Week to all the school counselors out there. We are the professionals. We are not auxiliary, so power to us. So the first proposal is the related service provider step salary schedule. Currently, they are on the auxiliary. salary schedule, and the related service providers are an essential part of our district. They consist of a team of the speech and language pathologist, occupational therapist, and physical therapist, and their respective degrees of certification and licensing within each field of study. Each professional provides excellent, necessary services to our students, as well as guidance for our teachers. Our related service providers were not included in the disbursement of the first rollout of the Red for Ed monies. In our research, we compared several Arizona districts with the current Cartwright salary schedule and realized that first, a competitive step salary schedule must be created. And two, this salary schedule needs to be expansive in order to recruit and retain individuals in these positions. A step schedule will allow for fairness and consistency that also reflects the certified schedule. Currently, a person working in the district for 10 years is making less than somebody who was hired on an altered salary schedule with less experience. Currently, the related service providers are asked to sign contracts without an explanation of stipends they may receive, nor an explanation of which stipend is billed into their base salary for the following year. As a whole, the related service providers are highly educated professionals who hone and perfect their skills and expertise over time in their respective field. The proposed related service provider step salary schedule acknowledges their level of accomplishment. Candidates find the current salary schedule unattractive, but students still have speech, OT, and PT needs. So the non-competitive salary schedule that we currently have is unattractive to candidates. And this results in a hire of expensive contractors, which results in the special education budget ballooning beyond acceptable levels. By having a competitive salary schedule, quality new hires will be attracted to fill slots currently taken by contractors, and quality district staff will be retained, thereby saving money overall.
Thank you, Ms. Giosa. I appreciate the detailed rationale and explanation. Any questions or comments from the CEA team or board district team? I know we're just sharing the proposals, but if you do have questions or things you want to point out, you can certainly do that. And if not, we'll talk about this all on February 18th. It looks like Ms. Farrar, our Chief Financial Officer, would like to speak. So go ahead.
Thank you. Just really quick. Thank you, Ms. Gianna, for sending that proposal to us. That will take us levels, comparative salary step schedules, comparative services. So that's going to take some time. Just know that in advance that will probably take longer than what you're expecting, as it's a new proposal being brought to us in February. Just wanted you to keep that in mind, but we will certainly look into it.
And to cut down on some of that time, we have included our research that we conducted. So hopefully that will be of help to you as you're doing your research as well.
Okay, thank you very much for adding that, and thank you, Ms. Farrar, as well. Ms. Stevens, what's next?
Gia is also doing your next one as well. Thank you.
Okay.
So our third proposal for tonight is a proposed step salary schedule for a school psychologist. Our school psychologists are an essential member of the Cartwright staff. And it's important to recognize that the school psychologists in our district have different levels of education and years of experience. The proposed school psychologist step salary schedule recognizes the different levels of education and years of experience. In this proposal, the premium money for hard to fill positions rolled into the base salary. In our research, we compared several Arizona districts with the current Cartwright auxiliary salary schedule, which the school psychologists are presently on. And we discovered ways that can create a step salary schedule that is competitive and expansive enough to recruit and retain individuals in a fair and equitable way. The proposed increase is a mix of the previous Red for Ed increase, rolling the premium stipend into the base salary, and an increase to make the salary schedule comparable to other similar districts.
Okay, thank you for that rationale as well. And just for those that are watching this on the recording, all of these proposals will be addressed individually on February 18th. So that is why we're not having much discussion here this evening on each one. But both the CEA team and the board team will be presenting new proposals, and then we'll be moving forward from there. So because of the special board meeting, our quickness on these items is not discounting or moving on from any of these. It's just simply for time's sake, so that all of the members of the CEA and board team are able to participate and watch the governing board meeting as well. So I just wanted to mention that once again, but thank you, Ms. Giosa. And Ms. Stevens, do you have another one? It looks like there's one more, maybe two.
No, I believe there's the 3 in there, and we have supporting documents to go along with our proposals from GIA.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And those would be the Excel worksheets. That's
Yes.
what those are. Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, thank you for presenting those. I appreciate the rationale and the details and the supporting documents. So is there any discussion regarding the new CEA proposals for today? Or are we okay moving on to the board district proposals, new proposals for this evening? All right, looks like we're good moving on. So I will go ahead and start with the board team proposal for 10-month work calendars. So this proposal, to be brief, it is written out there in the shared folder, but basically the proposal is to take the 9-month benefited and 9-month non-benefited work calendars and essentially get rid of them and move all of those individuals to the 10-month ESP work calendar for 21-22. And that does not change the benefited or medical insurance or non-benefited without medical insurance status. However, what it does do is it adds pay for winter break and spring break. So everyone would be on the 10-month calendar, which would actually, instead of starting on the first day of school with our scholars, it would start on July 19th, and it would go all the way through June 6th. And then those individuals that were on the 9-month calendar, not previously being paid for winter break and spring break, would be paid for winter break, and they would be paid for the first 4 days of spring break. And that would also satisfy the annualization of pay because the ESP hourly employees are paid in arrears. They would only be without a paycheck for a very small portion of the summer. However, they would have received 14 extra days of pay during the school year. And that is the proposal on moving the 9-month calendars and employees to 10-month. And go ahead, Ms. Joseph.
Hi, thank you. So is this proposal just for our ESPs or is this for all staff?
This is for ESPs.
Okay. Thank you. That was my only question.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions or comments? All right, moving on to the next one. will be the district board proposal for the substituting for medical insurance. Section 5 of this particular portion of the teacher ESP handbook delineates the former Cartwright employees and the ability to substitute for medical insurance at the current time, it is set for 25 days for certified employees, 25 days for ESPs, and 14 days for administrators. However, as the cost of medical insurance has drastically increased, we are looking at an annual cost per person for this program of $10,668, and that's for the 2020-2021 school year. So what we are proposing is that the number of days that need to be completed will no longer be calculated by being certified an ESP or administrator when you retire. However, it would be calculated based on your daily rate versus the cost of insurance, so that if there was the $10,668 cost, you would divide that by an individual's daily rate, and that would be the number of days that he or she would have to substitute in a like position from which they retired to earn that medical insurance, as well as aligning this with the language had been approved by the governing board that it would be you'd have to be hired prior to July 1st, 2005, and that had still been in the case for administrators and certified on the fringe benefits document, but it did not remain in the handbook. So adding that back in, as well as number 3 at the bottom, understanding that the priority would be for these individuals to be working on Fridays to support our scholars and staff members, district testing teams, and other program needs as determined by the district. And the district administrators, team leads, et cetera, would be able to create those assignments and make sure that everyone is following the role and function that is needed based on what position the individual retired from. Are there any questions or comments on this particular proposal? All right. We will move on to the next one, which is the district board proposal for the longevity program. And I know that we had previous discussions about the longevity program, and we were going to revisit it and working with legal counsel and looking at the ASRS rules. It was determined and previously discussed that with the 29% payment and salary increases, individuals were going over the 30% threshold, which means that the district was subject to a penalty, which we did have to pay on one former employee. So the proposal takes away the word certified and it's Cartwright employee longevity, because we have the one handbook making it consistent with some of the other changes we've made. The 29% of the base salary is not changed in this proposal. To qualify, you would still need the 25 years or more with the Cartwright School District. The change, or the proposed change, still allowing for 2 equal payments. However, the first payment would be in December, as that was always one of the options. And the second payment would be during July after separation from the district as a part of a severance agreement, which will not go towards ASRS calculations. So that would be for someone that retires after their 25th year. If an employee chooses to continue working with the district in lieu of a severance agreement, the employee would receive the second payment in July, just as they would with the someone that is leaving the district, and his or her pay would be frozen for the duration of employment with the Cartwright School District. In order to continue working, an employee will be required to continue working for the Cartwright School District for a minimum of 3 years. And the rationale behind that is it avoids the penalty, and the individual receives the same compensation by agreeing to either separate employment from the Cartwright School District, or they agree to continue working for a minimum of 3 years. And those agreements will be reflected in the document that is signed going into the longevity program, instead of the one where they just made the selection. There would just be some updated language to match what is in section C there. And again, that keeps us in legal compliance and allows us to continue giving the same amount. Are there any questions or comments on that one? Okay. Okay, and then the final one for the district board team is teacher lunchtime. The proposal would be to change the 40-minute lunch to 35-minute lunch to allow for expanded scheduling and having more time with scholars moving into a year after, we've been in a distance learning, possible in-person, and we're looking to accelerate and maximize those instructional minutes and allow for elective scheduling as well to run a little smoother. And I did put a rationale there that with the 40-minute lunch, obviously this is referring to in-person learning. When classrooms are going and coming from the cafeteria, it ends up around 50 minutes. So the 35-minute lunch will expand the time that scholars are with their teachers in response to maximizing instructional time during in-person learning and instruction. And any questions or comments about that proposal? All right, not seeing anything. Again, the pending proposals, there are none due to special board meetings per agreement between CEA team chair and board team chair. Moving on to action items. I'm sorry, Ms. Giosa, did you have something?
Sorry. How did you get the calculations for those minutes you described in the rationale, where the current 40 minutes is really 50 minutes, especially when we're in distance learning? So I don't know.
It's not a detailed calculation, but being a former teacher and principal, I know that people leave their classroom 5 minutes prior to get to the cafeteria, and then by the time they pick up students, they are back 5 minutes after. So that's where the 50 came from. Thank you. So other information, requests for future agenda items. I know that February 18th, we will be discussing all the pending proposals that we still have out there, which obviously there are several. Is there any questions or comments about that particular agenda item? Okay, not seeing any. The next scheduled meet and confer meeting will be held on Thursday, February 18th, 2021 at 4 p.m. via Zoom. And I will make sure that all of you from the CEA and board team have that link. And this meeting, as well as all future meetings, will be shared on YouTube. And I will go ahead and make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Ms. Stevens?
I second.
All right, well, assuming that we're all good with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. And thank you very much, all of you, and I will see you on February 18th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.